what kind of trafficking is there? There's forced labor. People are forced to do jobs they don't want to do. Debt bondage among migrant laborers. So people from all over the countries are brought in and they're trafficked all around the world. There's forced child labor. Children as young as 6 months are into the trafficking. Child soldiers. There's children all over the world who are being soldiers, forced to be soldiers, and forced to fight for the country. Sex trafficking. There is pornography. There is everything that children are not supposed to be seeing, they're seeing. There's commercial exploitation. They're being expanded to the whole world, and children are not supposed to be doing that. Not just children, there's moms, daughters, and every person in this world can be a victim to this.
Children who are under 18 years of age and adults are forced into human trafficking. Those who end up in the streets as homeless and have gone through domestic violence or sexual assaults are mostly who are found in the streets by themselves, and human traffickers come and see them and get them. What they do and promise them is for a loving relationship and dreams they would like to have and work and a new life, a better life for them. But what they really are going to go through is human trafficking.
Why do human traffickers do what they do? They exploit women and children to gain a profit through forced labor and prostitution. And it is a high-paying business, but that still doesn't make it okay. So the FBI and the law enforcement work with the victims to address the short and long-term needs.
Are we as a society making human trafficking a worldwide issue? Is it right to ignore those who are subjected to human trafficking? Now, these are some questions you guys want to keep in mind.
My name is Barbara Amaya, and I am a survivor of trafficking. I spent the first 12 years of my life in Northern Virginia. When I was only 10 years old, family members abused me. Before the abuse, I was a pretty normal little girl. I loved to read, collect stamps, draw, and I was a member of the Barbie fan club. Unfortunately, after I was abused, I became a different little girl. No one helped me or validated the abuse I had suffered. So part of me went into hiding and I became depressed. I didn't want to be around anyone. No longer went to school and eventually ran away when I was 12. When I ran away, I was a walking target for traffickers and predators who looked for damaged children. I had been abused. I was depressed and was in desperate need of help. It didn't take long for traffickers to find me. Surprisingly, it was a couple, a man and a woman, who found me on the streets of Washington, D.C. They took me off the streets when I was hungry and alone and brought me into their home, and they fed me and seemed to care for me. That is, until they initiated me into the world of trafficking. They used me for a few months until they no longer needed me, and then sold me to another trafficker.
During my time on the streets of New York, I was abused, shot, stabbed, raped, trafficked, beaten, addicted to drugs, jailed, and more, all before I was 18 years old. To ease my pain, I became addicted to drugs. This habit became very expensive, and I was no longer a valuable commodity to my trafficker. So he released me into New York. It was terrible. I was addicted and alone in the city. Thankfully, at a methadone clinic where I had sought treatment, I'd met a woman named Anita who helped me find my sister, who had apparently been living in the nearby city of Philadelphia, and that Christmas, she helped me reunite with my family, back in Virginia, where I got married and tried to have a baby. Soon after I started trying to have a baby, I found that because all of the trauma I had endured on the streets, I was infertile. Somehow, I think it was a miracle, I was able to have treatments and can happily say that I am able to have a daughter. In all of that moving around and having my daughter, I kept my past a secret. No one knew about the years I had been trafficked or abused but me. Then one night, when my daughter was 15, she decided to run away. My past came rushing back to me, and I was so afraid that the same things that happened to me would happen to my daughter. I couldn't just sit around, so I spent the whole night making phone calls and looking for her. Thankfully, I found her the next morning and shortly after told her about my story. After that, she never ran away again, and she is doing well today. I have a wonderful grandson, and I can live a content and quiet life.
I believe I am alive today because God watched over me all those nights on the streets. He kept a part of me untouched inside. Despite all the men and all the trauma I endured, a part of me remained clean and whole. I call that part of me my soul. I choose to believe that I went through all that I did so that today I can help others. If I can educate one person or give hope to one victim of trafficking, then I am doing my job and everything I went through was worth it.